Green Controller. It was a quiet day at Tidmouth's sheds. Percy was all alone. Suddenly, the Fat Controller's car pulled up. Percy was very surprised to see Lady Hat. "Sir Topham is sick," she announced grandly. "He has lost his voice." Percy was worried. "I hope he finds it soon," he peeped. "Sir Topham has given me a list of jobs," Lady Hat continued. "Listen very carefully. Gordon is to collect coaches of china from Knapford and take them to Brendam Docks. He must pull the coaches very slowly." "Slow coaches," peeped Percy. "James is to shunt trucks in the coal yard. He must be as busy as a bee." "Busy bee," puffed Percy carefully. "And Toby is to take visitors from Maithwaite to the Scottish castle. He must go as fast as Gordon's Express." "Gordon's Express," puffed Percy. "You're in charge now, Percy," said Lady Hat, and she left. Just then, Thomas puffed in from his morning's work. "I'm controller for the day," peeped Percy proudly. "Do you need any help?" Thomas asked his friend. "Controllers don't need help," wheezed Percy, and off he chuffed. Percy found Gordon first. "The Fat Controller has lost his voice," puffed Percy, "so I'm controller until he finds it." Gordon was surprised. Percy tried hard to remember what Lady Hat had said. "You must pull very slow coaches," he peeped proudly. "Oh, the indignity," huffed Gordon. Percy had a lot to do and a lot to remember. Next, Percy found James at the washdown. "James, you must be a busy bee," he peeped. James gasped. "Do you mean I have to be painted yellow and black?" he whistled weakly. "Yes, James," Percy said sternly. "But why?" snorted James. Percy tried to peep boomingly. "Because I'm controller." And then Percy puffed off. Next, Percy found Toby. "Toby, you must pull Gordon's Express," he told him. "Why?" Toby asked. He was very puzzled. "That's your job," peeped Percy boomingly. Percy felt very important. Later, Percy decided it was time to check on his engines. He knew that's what the Fat Controller would do. Children were waiting on the bridge. Percy peeped hello. But the children were looking down at the track. Gordon was puffing very slowly down the line. The children began to laugh. "Look at Gordon," they cried. "What a slow coach." Then James stopped at the signal. The children laughed again. "Who is that giant stripy bee?" they called. Finally, Toby huffed in with the heavy express. He was very tired. Gordon, James and Toby heard the children laughing, and then they saw Percy watching. Gordon called out to Percy, "I am supposed to be the fastest engine on Sodor, not the slowest," he huffed. "I'm supposed to be the reddest engine," moaned James. "Now no one knows who I am." "I'm only a steam tram," Toby puffed. "The express is too heavy for me to pull." Percy was worried. He knew he had made lots of mistakes. Then Thomas puffed up. "What's wrong, Percy?" he asked his friend. "Please help me, Thomas. I can't remember what Lady Hat told me. All the engines are doing the wrong jobs." Thomas thought for a moment. "You must go back over your tracks," he puffed. "You might see things that will help you remember." Percy thought that was a very good idea. Thomas and Percy pulled into Knapford Station. Gordon and slow coaches, puffed Percy. Suddenly, Percy saw crates of china waiting on the platform. That's it, Percy cried. Gordon is to take the china to Brendam Docks. He must pull his coaches very slowly. Percy and Thomas puffed into the coal yards. James must be a busy bee, Percy said slowly. There were lots of grumbling trucks waiting to be shunted. That's it. James is to shunt lots of trucks, so he must be as busy as a bee. Finally, Percy and Thomas arrived at Maithwaite Station. Toby must pull Gordon's express, wheezed Percy. Suddenly, Percy saw a group of visitors waiting on the platform. That's it, Percy cried. Toby is to take the visitors to the Scottish castle. He has to go as fast as Gordon's express. Well done, Thomas puffed happily. By the end of the day, all of the engines were doing the right jobs. That evening, the Fat Controller came to the sheds. You have done very well, Percy, he boomed. I'm very pleased. And I'm very pleased you found your voice, Percy peeped happily. The Fat Controller smiled. And I hope you never lose it again, Percy added.